Hi everybody, welcome to Feeling Fab Friday. I am here to talk about the keto diet and give it the smackdown. This is something I'm really excited to share and really passionate about because I feel like it's everywhere, right? A lot of times you go through these phases where there's one diet that's like everybody's on board, well, keto is it. If you don't know about it and you haven't heard about it, it is basically where you reduce the amount of carbs that you intake, and your intake is primarily fat and protein. Why is this a problem? Doesn't it sound, I mean, to me, when I hear about it, I'm like, this sounds like re-glorified Atkins diet. If you're as old as me, then you may remember the Atkins diet that happened a while back. So the problem is that anytime, first of all, these new diets come into play where we're reducing a lot of something in the body and replacing it with something else, or not taking out an entire food group, right? We're going to have issues. So I'm having screen issues right here. We're going to have issues in the body because the body needs all the macronutrients to function well, especially as women. So I'm not here to talk about men and how keto affects men. I think that men can do a lot better on keto than women can. My area of expertise is women's health and focusing on women's hormones. So we're going to talk about how this relates to hormonal health. Am I denying that people can see some fat loss through keto? No. But my question is, at what expense, right? So anytime we're doing anything drastic to the body, we need to look at the body holistically about what's happening everywhere. So a major issue that can happen when you're on the keto diet is the loss of your period. So this is constantly seen with young women who are doing the keto, or even women who are a little bit older who are doing keto and are starting to lose their periods from going low carb. I can think of a health and beauty blogger right now who's all about trying to get her period back. And I'm like, girlfriend, eat some effing carbohydrates. So the reason why is not specifically, we don't know exactly why, but there are some guesses as to what is happening. But inadequate amounts of starch in the body basically can signal the hypothalamus that there's not enough food, which can affect leptin levels and maybe even the microbiome, right? Because the microbiome, as I've shared with you before, loves variety. And as soon as we take a whole food group away, the microbiome can be triggered as well. And it basically ignites an adaptive starvation response in the body. Doesn't that sound awesome? I'm sure plenty of you know by now that when the body is in starvation mode and those cortisol levels go up, the body goes into fat storage mode. So it can actually start to store fat, and this is why women will have more trouble than men on certain kinds of diets where whole food groups are just totally cut out. And this also connects with how the body is talking with the ovaries and whether or not ovulation is happening. If the body is in starvation mode and it knows that we need to turn on all the gears to help our starvation response, the body says, you know what, I don't think now is a good time to have a baby. So let's shut down the ovulation and the baby producing hormones in the body, in the reproductive system. Why does this matter? Progesterone, as I shared last week on the Hormonal Birth Control Smackdown, is essential to women's health. It is a crucial hormone to us, staying calm, staying comfortable in our body, not having water retention, not having crazy periods with abnormal bleedings and sore breasts and cramping and irritability and stuffing our face with carbs on the couch and sugar and cravings, okay? Progesterone is essential. And we need to make those bank deposits in our bank account, our health bank account, of progesterone every month. And every month that we don't ovulate, we're not getting it. This is crucial, okay? It's crucial to our health as women, and it's important. So I am not negating that cutting out inflammatory foods, okay, and some carbohydrates is a good idea. So when I think about it, this is another reason why women start to lose their hair as well when they're on this low carb diet. So there is proof that insulin resistant people, especially women with PCOS, can improve from reducing the load on the glycemic index on their body, right? So what we want to be thinking of getting rid of is sugar and fructose, okay? And fructose is not really well broken down by the liver. It can cause some more of those issues, inflammation, etc., and can lead to insulin resistance issues. And this includes things like dates, okay? So Those people who are in the paleo world, I know that dates are your favorite snack when you're having that sugar craving, or fruit. And really, that's just overloading the liver and the body with fructose, which is not beneficial leading forward. So reducing sugars, yes. Reducing fructose, yes. Reducing wheat, yes, for inflammation. Reducing all starch and carbohydrates, I'm a big no. I'm a big no with anything that takes, like I said, the entire food group out. Why? Starch boosts our calming neurotransmitter GABA, okay? If you've ever had anxiety, then you know how important GABA is. If you've ever had any sort of issues with depression, you also know how important neurotransmitters are on the whole, and our ability to show up as the best version of ourselves. So GABA directly affects that HPA axis, and it regulates it. And when we have dysfunction there, okay, so I mean, it's typically called adrenal fatigue, but it is dysfunction between the HPA axis. Low carb does havoc on that because it just tells our body more and more we're in trouble, and we don't know where our next meal is coming from. And cortisol shoots up, which means stomach acid shoots down, and stress ensues, anxiety ensues, and sleep issues ensue. Anytime we have an issue with sleep, we've got an issue with all of our hormones, including men for testosterone, and all that boosts all these problems within our body. So the nervous system, when we're in that fight or flight mode, when our HPA axis is dysregulated, is kind of just overstimulated. And by taking away starch, we're not helping the problem, and we're not helping our situation with our GABA. So actually, also too much protein can reduce GABA, and we need GABA for all the things that I just mentioned before. And starch increases GABA, and also helps with the tryptophan uptake. Okay, carbs help with that. And tryptophan is a precursor to melatonin and also serotonin, which happens in the gut, which is good for your brain levels, your depression levels, your sleep, all of those things. So carbs help sleep. Carbs help you have a period. Carbs help you ovulate. All really important. So, some good ideas would be to have gentle carbs. Okay, so this would be like rice, brown rice, even some white rice, just not like a whole bowl of white rice. We're not like just downing, or Rice Krispie treats, right? We want to make sure that it's good sources of that. And, even potato could be a good form of glucose versus fructose for the body. Obviously, anytime that we are just focusing on fat, the other concern is fatty liver. So there are some studies that came out that keto could actually help fatty liver, and what has actually happened is they show a temporary improvement for a period of time, and then it can actually cause people to have more issues with fatty liver, insulin resistance, and chronic fatigue down the line. Okay, so again, we are not sure of these long-term effects of these drastic diets that we're doing. So the thing about the liver, if you've got an issue with your metabolism, if you have an issue with losing weight, if you have an issue with your skin, it could be connected to an issue with your liver, having that fatty liver. And part of that is the liver's inability to break down fats. So can you picture like loading yourself up with all these fats and the body not being able to break it down? What's going to happen there? So this is why it is so important as an individual to have knowledge about what's going on in your body, and not just doing a blanket approach that everybody else and their mother is doing and jumping on the bandwagon. Oh, keto sounds good. I think I'll do that. Why don't we look at what's going on in your body, find out what your history is, find out what your inflammation markers are, find out what SNPs you may have from your genetic disposition, find out how your liver's doing, find out what your hormones are doing, whether you have that HPA axis dysfunction, and then from there, make choices about what is best for you as an individual. But as a woman, I can say one of the worst things to do is to reduce fiber in the body, increase fat, and then increase athletic load through something like CrossFit or high-intensity interval training. It literally makes our body start to suffer and go into that fat storage mode, go into that starvation of response, and it doesn't help our sleep, it doesn't help our periods, and it doesn't help us on a well-being place from our GABA and our mindset. Stop losing your mind to lose a size in your jeans. There's better ways to do this, and I'm saying this with compassion because I tried a lot of things too when I was looking for answers. And I was scrounging around there on the internet trying to find the solutions to my skin issues, to my sleep issues, to the ever-growing tire that was happening around my waist no matter what I did. And the answer, the longer I did a high-fat, high-protein diet with low fiber and over-exercise, the bigger I got, the worse my skin got, the worse my mood and reactions were, the worse my anxiety was. And I say, F it. Who wants to live like that? Not me. And so what was best for me was increasing fiber, doing cleansing work on my liver, getting my digestive working properly, and really getting to the root of the problem, not cutting out an entire food group. Okay, so we need starch. As women, we need that to regulate our periods, to help our neurotransmitters. Everything that I'm just saying, this is crucial, this is important. Okay, so this, let's forget about the fads. Let's focus on what will last long term, right? Because we want long-term change, not just a fast overnight. I'm not saying you're not going to lose some water weight or whatever that happens while you're on the ketogenic diet, but all the studies that I looked at, everybody gained back what they lost because you can't maintain that forever and it's not realistic. Now, I am going to talk about exogenous ketones. Those I do find beneficial. There's lots of signs of how they can benefit you, especially with people who have Alzheimer's and other things going on. And the other benefit of having activated, that sort of level in your body. So there's a way to do it without really restricting the carbohydrate diet and making yourself feel crazy losing your period. So exogenous ketones can be taken as a supplement and get your body in that kind of ketosis state of the benefits without reducing the carbs and affecting the HPA axis and affecting your progesterone levels, your ovulation, etc. So I am a fan of Perfect Keto. I think that's the brand. I will post it underneath. And they also have an awesome MCT oil that, that is powdered, because sometimes the MCT oils can be a little bit too anxiety triggering for people. And so actually having this powdered supplement is actually a little bit better. And again, we don't want any liquid fat coming from plastic. Anytime we have a fat, it's absorbing everything around it really intensely. So if you have olive oil, coconut oil, MCT oil, I don't care how fancy it is, in a plastic bottle, you're causing more damage than help to your body with these, estrogens and the other toxins that are in that plastic. So yeah, the brand is Perfect Keto. I will post a link there for you to check out. And that can be beneficial so that you're still getting the benefits of being in that state without having to reduce your carb load and send yourself into, fight or flight mode and all those things. So I want to just fight for women on a whole of what's best for us on a hormonal level. What does best for us is fiber. Okay, women need fiber to have our hormones functioning properly. Vegetables. Okay, vegetables are great for fiber. If you're having trouble getting enough fiber in your diet, you can also increase it with some supplementation. I love psyllium husk powder. Start slowly with that. Add about a teaspoon or so into water. You got to drink it fast because that stuff gets jelly really fast. And you don't want to add it to a smoothie because it actually makes it way too thick and hard to swallow. But adding a little fiber can help and do wonders for the liver, for excess estrogen issues, etc. And then let's dive into cleansing that little liver a little bit more if you're having issues with metabolism, if you're having trouble with fat loss, and the digestive system, which all those things can cause you to really store weight. So if you're not moving in the direction you want, let's look at why. And most importantly, let's test and not guess and see what your body needs as an individual. This includes your blood type. This includes what's going on in your digestion and your hormones and your liver, all the things that I can see through testing that I offer my clients. But it's not through the keto diet. That is not your answer. So I invite you and beg you. I'm going to post a couple studies here of how it affects women's fertility. Even if you're not planning on having a baby, I'm telling you, you still need progesterone. You still need GABA to have that calming neurotransmitter going on within your brain. Okay, so I'm going to post some of those studies for you guys to do your research yourself. But I invite you to start asking questions instead of just jumping on the bandwagon with everybody else about what works and what doesn't work when it comes to hormonal health. So I think I covered everything that I wanted to say. But again, it's not cutting out massive amounts of food groups and following a train with everybody else. It's figuring out what works individually and for your body. So I see I have tons of people watching on Instagram. I have a couple of people here on Facebook. If you have any questions, I would love to answer them. Jeannie says, what happens with nursing? Is this way some women struggle more after nursing with balancing hormones, the progesterone issues, and also all these ladies cutting so many foods because their babies are reacting? Okay, so nursing is a thing in and of itself. Your hormones literally change multiple times throughout your nursing experience. You know, within the first couple of weeks, and then primarily 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. And then when you wean is the final change of hormones. And this is the connection between prolactin, yes, progesterone, and all sorts of things. So there's reasons why women will get their periods back a lot sooner than other women, and that has to do with their progesterone levels, whether they have a disposition for high estrogen, etc. And some women just have more issues within their body because those progesterone levels, you know, when we give birth, they really go down to like nothing. It's like menopause. It's like a zero line there. So we have to do some work to build them back up. And obviously nursing affects prolactin, and that's what triggers a letdown. And so we can have some issues with that after we stop and we wean. So I'm trying to figure out whether they struggle with nursing or after nursing. So just in general, your hormones are going to go through a big change postpartum, and nursing especially. So the best way is to get support. Also, your minerals are being depleted. Minerals are the building blocks of the body, and you need to be, you know, loading yourself up with minerals to make sure that you're producing enough to take care of this baby, produce healthy milk, and also produce enough for your body. And unfortunately, with all the gut issues we have going on, we're not assimilating our nutrients properly. So there could be multiple reasons why women are struggling postpartum and post-nursing. I'm not going to say across the board that it's the keto diet. I don't think that the keto diet is beneficial for women who are nursing. I don't think that's smart in any aspect. I don't think it's smart for women who aren't nursing because of all the things it affects, including your progesterone levels. So I'm going to say a word about intermittent fasting. I have another article on that about how that affects women. We also need to be careful with that, but I do see benefit with giving your body a little break. So instead of going full keto, I will advise my clients to think about doing a little mini fast to give their body a break from food, which can help with insulin levels and help with gut bacteria repopulation. The gut loves a break, actually, and it helps repopulate and regenerate that bacteria. It's actually a good thing. So I generally, myself, and what I encourage my clients to do is to stop eating around 7 p.m. at night, 6:30, sometime around then, and not eat again until 9:30 or 10 a.m. in the morning. And in the midst of that time, I encourage them to make my matcha green tea latte, which includes collagen for protein and good for your gut. It includes, L-theanine in that matcha green tea, which is going to help be a calming neurotransmitter calming, help with that monk-like state. And it also has, oh my gosh, what am I thinking? It also has coconut oil in it, which is the best fat that is utilized by the body in the liver right away, without making the body think that it's really struggling. So we do want to set those insulin levels in the morning by giving it protein and fat, but we need to give it fiber too. We need to give it carbohydrates. We need to give it starch so we don't go into that starvation mode and that starvation response. So as always, my plan for these Feeling Fab Friday videos is to educate you so you start to do your own research. Of course, reach out to me if you have questions and you want help. Obviously, having a coach navigating with you, looking at your personal test results and giving you answers is important. But I'm really about women's well-being on a whole, emotionally, and how they show up with their loved ones. So don't sacrifice that for wanting to fit into your genes. Okay, I can help you do both while remaining sane and keeping your sanity and gaining your body back through hormonal balance. So that's just what I want to share with you today. I'm so happy that you turned out for this Feeling Fab Friday. Let me know how you feel about this video. I just wanted to be truly honest and share the truth about keto and how it affects women's hormones in general. So there'll be more content coming to you every Friday. If you have something specific that you want to hear me talk about, please let me know what it is so I can answer your questions and make a video that's specific for what you want to know. All right, have a fantastic Friday. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.